Some of the problems you're going to come across will not have a 1 in front of the x squared, and we'd like to have a look at these now and see how we might tackle them. So we're looking at exercise 4.7 in your textbook. That's on page 75. So if you flip to that now, we'll have a look at the very first problem there, question number 1. 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. So again, we'll put down our brackets as we've done before. And we'll put in the x in each bracket as we've done before. But there's a slight change here because we've got this 2 in front of the x squared. Now the only way you can generate a 2 is that one of these x's has a 2 in front of it. So I'm going to put a 2 in front of that one there and leave the other one just as an x. So 2 times 1 will give me 2, and x times x will give me x squared. Now looking at this number at the back here, the only way I can get a 1 is if I've got a 1 multiplied by a 1. And we're pretty much there now because we've got a plus 3x to generate. If we look at these very carefully, the 2x times the x will give me 2x squared. The 2x times the 1 will give me 2x. The 1 times the x will give me another x. And then the 1 times the 1 will give me the plus 1. And if we draw these terms together, we get the 3x. 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. So this is our solution. 2x plus 1, one factor, and x plus 1, the other factor. So let's try now question number 3. We'll add a little bit more complexity. 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. We'll draw up our brackets once again. And we'll put our x and x in, as we'd expect to. Now again, we've got a 2 in front here, so the only way we're going to get a 2 is if one of these has a 2 in front. So 2x times x will give me the 2x squared. Now I've got to generate 2 at the back, so I've got to put either a 1 or a 2 in. So in here I could put a 1, in here I could put a 2. 1 times 2 will give me 2. Or I could put a 2 in and times it by a 1 to get a 2. The question is which way around. Well, I want to generate 5x, so I need to generate something like a 2 in here to give me 2x times 2 will give me 4x, and a 1 in here. And if I put a plus and a plus, you'll see that my 2x times the x will give me 2x squared. The 2x multiplied by the 2 will give me 4x. The 1 times the x will give me the extra x I need, and the 1 times the 2 will give me a 2. If I pull these terms together, I get my 5x. So let's ratchet up the complexity just slightly more by looking at question 9. 3x squared minus 8x plus 4. Let's put our brackets down again and put our x's in. X times x will give us x squared. Now we've got this 3 to worry about. So to get 3, all we can do is multiply 1 by 3. So it's either 1 in the front here followed by 3 at the back, but I'm going to put 3 at the front and 1 at the back. So 3 times 1 will give me 3, or 3x times x will give me 3x squared. Now the next thing to do is to look at this number 4 here. How do we generate a 4? Well, a 4 could be 1 times 4, or a 4 could be 2 times 2. Now in effect what this means is that in this area here and here we could have either a 1 and a 4, or indeed a 4 and a 1, not trivial, or a 2 and a 2. There's our possible options. Whichever we choose, we have to end up generating a minus 8x. So let's see how we can use these pairs of numbers to possibly generate the 8x. So let's imagine we take the option of using the 1 and the 4. So 1 goes in this slot here and 4 goes in this slot here. When we come to multiply through, the 1 will be multiplying the x, so I'll get 1x, or just x. And then the 4 in this slot will multiply by the 3, and I'll get 12x. If I take the 4 and the 1, the 4 will multiply by the x, so I'll end up with 4x, and the 1 will multiply by the 3, so I'll get 3x. And finally, if I take the 2 and the 2, 2 will times by x to give me 2x, and the 2 multiplied by the 3 to give me 6x, and there's my possible solutions. Now, it doesn't take too much to realize that the x and the 12x, the x and the 12x, is not going to help me generate the 8. The 4 and the 3, any combination of that will not give me an 8. The 2 and the 6, however, could give me an 8, i.e. 2 plus 6 will give me an 8. But I want a minus 8, so it's going to have to be a minus 2 and a minus 6. So there's my possible solution done. I'm going to put a 2 in here and a 2 in here, and they're both going to have to be negative. Now we ought to double check this by multiplying out, so we'll take the 3x times the x to give me 3x squared. We'll take the 3x times the minus 2 to give me minus 6x. The minus 2 times the x will give me minus 2x. And then the minus 2 times the minus 2, minus times a minus is a plus, I'll get the 4. And these two terms will come together to give me the minus 8x I need. So this is indeed a solution.